Welcome to part 1 of Photoshop Basics. This video is going to go through setting up a new Photoshop document and bringing images from the internet into Photoshop. Before we do anything, we need to create a new Photoshop document. Just like an artist needs a canvas to paint on, we'll need to set up a new file before we can start working with our images. To do this, click on File up the top and then New. Some of the options that pop up here are important to consider. You can start by giving your Photoshop file a name. The width and height of our image is very important. We usually measure the size in pixels, so make sure that's what it's set to. Let's just start off with an image that's 1200 pixels wide by 800 pixels high. Then we have the resolution. If you're creating graphics for digital use like for a website, stick to 72 pixels per inch. The color mode can stay at RGB, which is red, green and blue. And the background contents, I like to start with transparent. If you don't know what this means, this image is transparent, this image is not transparent. See the difference? Once you've applied all those little details, click OK and we're ready to roll. It's important to make sure we have access to all of the tools that we need. At the top of the screen, click Window, then Workspace, then Essentials. If at any time you're missing tools or other palettes, you can click Reset Essentials. This will set everything back to the way it should be. Okay, it's time to get some images into our Photoshop file. For educational purposes, we're just going to use some images from Google Images. For any other purpose, you'll have to make sure you only use royalty-free images. I'm going to start by obtaining a background image and 2 animal images. I'll start by typing in beach background and setting Google to image search. When choosing an image, it's very important to look at the size of the images. As a rule of thumb, you can always make images smaller, but if you increase the size, they'll lose quality. So if our file width and height was 1200 by 800 pixels, we'll need to find a background bigger than that. Once we've found our desired image, click on it to access the big version of the image. This is the one that we need. Once the image is loaded, simply right-click on it and click Copy Image. Now, back to your Photoshop document, you can click Edit at the top and then Paste. Alternatively, you can press Ctrl V as a shortcut to paste. It's that easy, but before we move on, we want to find a couple of other images that we can manipulate and paste them into Photoshop. Once again, make sure to check the image's width and height. Then click the thumbnail to see the larger version of the image, then right-click Copy Image and then in Photoshop, Edit Paste. Once you have a background image and at least 2 other images in Photoshop, you're ready to move on to the next tutorial. Click the little button in the middle of the screen to move on to part 2.